wearing colours. But what we know is, if you're not prepared to be bold and be colourful, you won't stand out. You won't get picked. You won't get even looked at some stage. Imaginative is another one that's really important. Now, a lot of kids are never taught to develop that. That's the thinking how to be better. That's the, oh, is there anything else I can find out? Oh, maybe I could invent something new. And you think about it in your sport, what you did differently maybe to get higher than other people. And for me, it was things like, we used plastic sticks as women when no one else in the world did. We changed hands when no one else did. And I took basketball defence to lacrosse, because it made a lot more sense than the way that did. So again, being able to connect all of these things is important. When we're talking about driven, that's another thing. If you're driven, you can change anything. And this is one of the things about profiling. They'll say, oh, Phil, you're a such and such, and Jenny, you're something different. And I go, you don't have to be anything people tell you you are. You can be whatever you want to be, but the amount of drive you've got will make that difference. So in other words, Phil, if you wanted to be the best, you're probably out there doing extra. You're probably looking at all of that sort of thing. So knowing these characteristics, then what I do is I give you a whole lot of questions, and we put bright green through the ones that are you're perfect, stay that way, and yellow through the others. And then we talk about how we can get to that and different things to practice to become better at those characteristics.
Listen here, Jen, if I go back just for a moment to bold and colourful, are some coaches intimidated by athletes that are bold and colourful?
Well, that's interesting, because a lot of coaches now want to make people bland. Yes. And they want team aspects that are all the same and we're all this. When in fact, we need individuals. We need who care about others and who care about the result.
So that's the key though. You said the individuals that care about the team, not individuals that just care about themselves. Can't have those, the individual that cares about the team. So we do need those bold and colourful players to be successful, don't we?
And you'll notice some of them, if I give you Dusty Martin, you'll probably notice his colour is often tats. Maybe Dan Swan, the same thing. And it's interesting, even someone like Jason Ackermanis, that was very much people criticised as being an individual. Maybe at the end when he was doing the handstand, instead of by himself, what they should have done was encourage him to have got a couple other teammates and then kids over the fence to do it as well. So in other words, it's teaching some of these things, and some players, I do not have to do anything with the bold, colourful. I need to teach about the caring aspect, because they've only been told it's all about them all their lives. So again, it's learning how to do different things that you need.
We'll delve into that a bit later. There's one more to your star.
Which is huge.
Okay, what is it?
Monitoring, evaluation and planning. That means, where are you at the start of the year? Now, too many players get told, oh, you're not good enough at this, or your left foot's not good enough. Then I've got a plan of how to get it better. Then the plan must be of what are we doing physically. So it's no use me teaching you things and sitting here as a psychologist. I can make you mentally strong. But if we don't put the planning, we don't put the monitoring where you are now, what you need to get better at, and we don't evaluate. And evaluation isn't only yourself. I want you to evaluate your coaches. I want you to evaluate the people. Are you with the best experts to get good? And if we understand that, then we can actually start to understand, my pilots, for instance, they want to be the best, they have checklists. Because sometimes you need a checklist so you don't forget. And they're the sort of things, I've even had young players playing their first night game, and no one's told them what time to eat. Because they've always played during the day, they've been an underage, and all of a sudden they're playing their first game, and it's a big game. All of a sudden you don't know, oh my goodness, I should have eaten an hour ago or 2 hours ago. Or they're anxious and they have no idea about how to get over their anxiety, and that is a huge problem.
All right, just quickly, just on that, plan, evaluate, who should you go to? You know, I mean, as kids we go to our parents or we go to our coach. Is there a better source? Can you go to 3 different sources, parents, coach and someone like yourself?
Oh look, my point is, it doesn't matter what it is, the best experts you can find. So you might have lucked into good parents who can give you good feedback. You might have lucked into really bad parents who push like hell and actually make you feel really much more nervous than they even understand. So having someone to actually be able to sit back, maybe someone like me, but I would also say I have an advantage of being a coach as well, but I like to meet the coaches, because it's really good to be able to work together. Because if you think this is alone, you're an idiot, because the thing that this goes with this all the time, head and heart rate. If I'm thinking, I'm nervous, my heart's like this. So again, learning how it all fits together and how practice counts puts that star, and let's make the star huge, not small. All
right, you've heard the star, the formula in our previous episode. Stay with us, still lots to come on what goes inside the brain, what makes us an extraordinary athlete. Stay with us.